What's happening, my friends? Hey, thank you, everyone tuning in from across the country. Thank you so much, everybody coming in from around California. I know we got LA in the house, we got Diego, we got people coming in from Nevada. I greatly appreciate the efforts that it took to be here at this historic sort of announcement of the next phase of this company. But what it really is a vision. It's the next phase of this vision. And I'm here tonight to talk about a lot of things. I'm going to talk about details. We're going to talk about business model. We're going to talk about some cool shit. But the most important thing we're going to talk about, and what I really want to invite all of you into tonight, is making a choice. I think that's what it's really about. I think you came here tonight to make a choice about the future that you're going to build. And what I'm inviting you to tonight is to build your future with power and build the future vision we see for the world, which is a sustainable energy, abundant world, massive abundance, clean energy powering our societies, our homes, our families, and wealth and prosperity that we transition from the utility industry and utility sector to the hands of individuals, professionals, and entrepreneurs. That's the vision. That's the game we're playing. That's what we're up to. And the people that solve this challenge, the people that play this game, are going to be the modern day Rockefellers, the people that reinvented the energy infrastructure for the world tomorrow. I don't know too many games you get to play like that one that also have the ability to deliver such massive financial rewards, the career, the lifestyle, the income that I know all of us want for ourselves and want for our families. So how's that sound to you guys? Does that sound like a vision? Does that sound like something you could buy into? Because that's what we're here to do. And this is going to be a theme in the beginning of this presentation. Who wants to hear some stories tonight that I've never told before? Anybody want to hear a couple of stories? We might have a few stories to tell. This right here is where we came to about 4 or 5 months ago. And maybe this is where some of you are right now. You find yourself at a choice point. The world finds itself at a choice point. What is our future going to be? Who are we, and what is our destiny to become? That's a question to sit with, something to ask yourself. Now, at Powur, we've been asking ourselves this. Who are we, and what is our destiny to become? And I think it might help to just share a little color on what's happened over the last 5 years. Powur's almost 5.5 years in business at this point, which is not the most time ever, and it's also not nothing. And over the last 5.5 years, we've been through an incredible journey. We were founded in 2014. We launched our first partnership with Solar City and Tesla in 2015. But there's these interesting choice points that we sometimes come to in our life. I hope you're at one tonight. I hope tonight is a night you get to make a choice about what is your destiny and what are you destined to become. We had to make one of those choices in 2014, at the very end of 2014. I'm going to share a story I never told with anybody before. Oh, yeah. This is the truth. You guys have all seen the normal timeline, right? Yeah. You didn't see the timeline behind the timeline. So, a young Jonathan Budd, unleashed into the solar industry, confident with about a $1.6 million in his pocket. And I don't share that to boast or anything. I'm just giving you the framework for this story because you're going to see what happened. Enters into the solar industry on a vision and passion and mission. And the idea at first was, hey, we know we got to solve customer acquisition, don't we? We got to solve customer acquisition. The best way to do that is network marketing. Let's be the first network marketing company to bring this model to solar energy. Seemed like a revolutionary idea. Seemed like it could solve a lot of problems. What's the best way to do that? Let's go partner with the biggest and best solar companies out there. The ones with the national footprints. So, we made a list. Turns out there was about 3 of them. Oh, well, I hope we get lucky. We did not get very lucky with 2 out of the 3. And then we did get lucky with 1 out of the 3. This is a very large company. You guys would know them. And I was so excited because after 6 months of negotiations, I signed the deal, I inked the deal, we're coming to market. I put the first $550,000 of capital into Powur right about here. We were planning on being launched by August 2014, and we did not launch in August of 2014. It was costing about $70,000 to $80,000 a month at that point in the company, and we were just building infrastructure, building tech platforms, building all this stuff. And then I recruited an amazing board of directors, and they look at our contract with this awesome partner, and they go, "This is shit." Pardon my French. They said, "This is horrible. Like, if you guys do this, like, yeah, you're never going to raise any money. This is a dead deal. Like, they got you locked into this thing for years. Like, this is garbage. Like, you need to get out of this." Oh, let's make a long story short. We found ourselves at a choice point. We had no other partner to go to. We had to get out of there, and by some grace of God, let's just call it that, about a week later, an opening was created to the ideal partner, the biggest and the best of the time, Solar City, Tesla. But in order to make the leap to that opening, we needed to basically make a bet the company move in every way, shape, or form, and hope to God that this multi-month strategy to essentially exit one relationship would actually result with no guarantees a relationship on the other side. And the board said, "You're crazy. Like, if you do this, like, you're crazy. Like, you've already got all this money in. Like, there's, it's very risky." But I will just tell you this. There was something in my stomach, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how to describe it. There's something in my stomach now, too. But shit. No, seriously, there was just this gut feeling that was like, you have to do this. It was so painful, but we had to do it. And we did it. We exited the relationship. It took about 6 months. It took 2.5 months just to get set up with the next meeting. Another 3 months to execute the contract and actually have this thing in motion. So it was a 6-month delay from October or November. And mind you, the burn rate didn't stop. So $80,000 a month, not planned for. Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. Every month, things get interesting. But boom, we nailed the right partner. Our board said yes. We came out in 2015. We crushed it with an $800,000 capital raise, and we were off to the races. Success number 1, when you make the right choice at a choice point. So we launched the business. Everything's doing what it's doing, and we enter into another choice point. Now, bringing network marketing into solar is no easy thing. So what we first discovered when we launched the network marketing model was that this thing really, it's going to need a lot of iterations, a lot of adaptations. Like the very first, June 2015 model, that thing needed some work. It needed some serious work, right? So we went to work on it. We had to go back to Solar City. We had to convince them to give us almost twice as much money. We had to redo all this stuff. We had to raise another fundraising round. We go back to the capital markets. We're raising another round, and I hit this ceiling around 350 grand, 400 grand. And I'm like, damn it, I can't get through this 350, 400 grand ceiling. Like, what's going on here? And we had this group that was interested in investing, and they wanted to change the deal terms, and they wanted to throw in 400 grand, and they wanted it debt. And I had a board member sit me down, and he goes, "Jonathan, I've seen this a bunch of times, and you're screwed." It's like every time, everything, I always kept hearing, "You're screwed." But he's like, "Look, it's not going to work. You might raise the money, but then you're going to be debt. You're never going to be able to raise another dollar after this. It's not enough money to really take it all the way." He's like, "This is what you need to do. Like, you need to go all in." I was like, "Man, all in? Are you kidding me? I've been paying myself a salary for over 2 years from my personal bank account. I've spent millions of dollars on this. I cashed in investment accounts. I cashed in everything. This is when I got what 100% all in actually means. It's not 95% all in wins, ladies and gentlemen. I thought that it was because I was 95% all in. But as it turned out, there was another 5%. And success was coming back to ask for all of it. So at the time, I was cruising around in my paid-for in cash Tesla. And I said, well, damn it, I guess this is what we're going to do. And I put my Tesla up for sale. I sold my Tesla. I went back to PayPal accounts and other accounts and accounts I had forgotten about and every other damn thing. I showed up to my board with $125,000, pretty much all in. And I said, who's willing to match me? My board says, now we're talking. The board all threw in 50 grand. Our other investors threw in 50 grand. We went back to this group that was interested. And we said, hey, we're coming to the table with 500,000. What will you do? They threw another $500,000 on top. We closed out another 100K right at the end. And that round was done for 1.1 million. Company funded, gets to live another day. That's the distinction between 95% all in and 100% all in. Now, mind you, this is just what it took to get to the starting line with solar energy and Tesla. And as you guys may remember, things didn't end too well for Solar City Tesla, did it? It's still not going very well for Solar City Tesla. So, eventually, we came to more choice points. Solar City Tesla was really a terrible partner. You know, it was taking 6 to 9 months to do installs. They had huge cancellation rates. They were paying us crap. It was just really a terrible partner. And we started asking ourselves, man, what's our destiny here? Like, are we just meant to be this flea on the back of Solar City? Like, they're the game changer? Or are we going to make the choice that we become the game changer? And that's what this choice point was all about. We called the board meeting one day. We saw the writing on the wall, and it was bold. We had built our entire business on the back of Solar City and Tesla and Elon Musk, and that was all anybody talked about for like 18 months straight. And then for the company to say, nope, we're going in a different direction. We're exiting that relationship. That was a colossal decision. But we decided in that moment that Powur needed to become the game-changing platform. That we were no longer going to be a flea on the back of Solar City, that they did not have the game-changing model. They did not figure it out. They used investor capital to scale to the heights that they hit, but they never built a business model that made sense. They lost tons of money every step of the freaking way. That's not it, ladies and gentlemen. That's not the model. And we made a choice in that moment that we needed to become the game-changing model. If it wasn't them, and I don't know who else it is, because we weren't very excited about talking to everybody else, we said, well, damn it, we'll do it ourselves. And so we built the first nationwide sort of lead generation platform for 1099 contractors. And it became one of the most successful lead generators in the country. We had solar companies beating down a path to our doorstep to get on our platform, so we would send them leads. And we sent them a lot of leads, tens and tens and tens of thousands of leads. And then we came to another choice point as we looked at the nature of that business. And mind you, all this entire time we were saying, hey, we're going to be the lead generators. We're going to be the network marketers. We're going to partner. And it just kept changing, right? And so we got to this choice point where it said, we're just not really making enough money in lead gen, guys. Like, we looked around and it was like, what the hell? There's a lot of work. This stuff is tough. Like, it's tough to really make enough money in lead gen. So we made the decision. Choice point. Are we going to become a different kind of company? And we entered into sales. So every step of the way, we've been owning more and more and more of the solar value chain. If you would have told me that our destiny was to rebuild what Solar City was in 2014 and 15, back then I would have told you you're crazy. That's impossible. And today it's actually who we are. It's the inevitable reality. And it's coming home tonight with the announcement and launch of Powur Energy. So this brings us to the final choice point. After we became a sales company, end of 2018 came, and we found ourselves at another one. looking at everything, asking ourselves the question, who are we? What are we destined to become? It seemed that these were the two options. Whoops. Network marketing or something entirely new. We labored over this. We were getting pressure from all sorts of people. Launch more products, right? Network marketing needs easy, simple products. Network marketing doesn't work when you have a 90-day installation time and enterprise sales. And sure, there's parts of it that work. It's easy to generate a lead, but it's not really the type of product that fits with the network marketing channel normally. So we had a choice to make. Do we add a bunch of more products to the front of the channel? Do we create instant gratification and 5-minute success stories and blah, 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 blah? Is that who we really are? Is that what we really care about? Is that what we really want to drive front-end growth? Or do we build something entirely new? And when we asked ourselves the same questions I'm asking you guys tonight, we got very clear that actually our visions never changed. We got in this business to disrupt energy and be a game changer in solar. We got in this business to accelerate the adoption of solar worldwide. We got in this business to empower other human beings to own a piece of the energy industry. We got in the business to return power back to the people and weaken the influence of money and politics and all that crap that has done so much damage to our planet up to now. That's why we're here. So if it's a question of trying to chase safety or something old and familiar or being bold and building something entirely new, it ain't even a damn question. Goodbye, network marketing, and hello, Powur Energy. So, for many of us that have been together for years now, you guys are we're laughing together tonight. We're laughing together at the amazing journey that we've honestly been through, and laughing as well because of how good it feels to say that. Doesn't it feel good? It feels like, yes, let's birth something entirely new. So I want to introduce you guys to Powur Energy. And I believe this is who we were ultimately destined to become. Our central thesis in this model is that the seller is the most valuable person in solar and thus deserves the greatest benefit. And I stand by that. Panels, commodity. Inverters, commodity. Installation, you need good partners, but commodity. Okay? It's permits, it's construction, it's basic. Commodity, 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 commodity in this industry, except one thing. That's not a commodity. What's that? How you get the customer. No one has been able to commoditize that. They've tried like crazy, yet it remains the most stubborn, persistent pain in the ass in the solar industry still to this day. So you build a model to solve the biggest challenge in solar, and yeah, that's the person who deserves to get rich. It's not going to be, we love everyone in construction. We love everybody in every chain of this industry. But this is the person solving the biggest problem right now. And that person needs to be rewarded massively. So what if we could revolutionize the value proposition for the solar sales professional? What if we could pay the most lucrative commissions that exist in the solar industry? What if we could pay an industry-first passive residual income? And what if you could earn equity in the business for long-term wealth creation? Those are all interesting questions that we asked ourselves that we think is going to change the entire game of solar. So here's the old model. You work for a company. You're an employee. You earn small commissions. You have no freedom, really. You're an employee. You have a glass ceiling. It's safe. A lot of people do it. You work for a dealer, right? There's a sales organization that has a relationship with a contractor and installer, so you work for them. You get to do your own thing, but you still have pretty small commissions. There's no way to really move up the chain without cutting out your dealer. Those guys are usually pocketing about $2,000 to $3,000 on top of every sale if you work for a dealer, and they're kind of like the middleman, really, right? I mean, yeah, they might handle accounting and they might handle some things, but really, $2 to $3 grand out of every sale, I think that doesn't make a lot of sense. Or the last option is you could get your own EPC. Now, this is harder work. You're now responsible for running a business pretty much. A lot of times you have monthly volume commitments, or your baseline price goes up, and it's not that great. You have no residual, you have no equity, you have minimal support. So this is what exists in the solar industry today. This is the game. Introducing Powur Energy. The biggest commissions in the industry to the seller without ever needing to cut out your support team. Passive and residual income so you can be free and not just have to eat what you kill every day. Equity opportunities with staggering upside potential when you truly grasp the valuation of the company today and what's actually possible to hit the numbers that this room could do alone and what this company would look like on the public markets. A scalable tech platform to manage everything under one roof and drive growth. So that's who we are. That's what we're here to do. Let's talk about some of the specifics. So really, to understand this model, there's 3 things I'm going to highlight. We all know Uber, you have to decentralize. So giving people the ability to do anything, anywhere, right? Powur's a virtual company. We're a virtual solar company. Who would have even thought that's freaking possible? But it might actually turn out to be the only way it's super possible with efficiency and growth at the national level. So with Uber, anybody can operate a business from the palm of their hand. Anybody can operate a business from an iPhone. If you've logged into the Powur platform, you know how easy it is. So this is the way the world is changing to a democratized sort of workforce where we kind of get to do what we want to do and we control our own way. Well, then we looked at some other models that are really similar to solar in the real estate industry. Who's heard of this company, EXP? Yep. We've been sharing this story a little bit. Thank you to Jim's friend, Chris Heller, huge influence, the former CEO of Keller Williams, who was part of our brainstorming when we were really thinking about the next direction we wanted to go. And EXP is doing some remarkably cool things right now. So they became the fastest real estate company, the fastest growing real estate company in the world. They went to 17,000 brokers in the last 5 years. They did that being 100% virtual. Not a single office, 100% virtual real estate company, 17,000 brokers. How'd they do it? They're paying the most commissions in the industry to their sales force. You sell a home for EXP, you make more money than if you sell a home anywhere else. Period. They're offering a residual income if you refer other people into EXP. Agents know a lot of other agents, so why not refer agents and earn a piece of what they're doing? Number 3, EXP went public, and they created equity programs so that their partners could own a piece of the company. They could invest in the company at a 20% discount in terms of options over market rate. There was ways that they could earn with performance. All that sounded pretty cool. It was like, wait a minute, nobody's doing this in solar. Like, we've got a potentially innovative value proposition here. We just need to figure out the next piece. And this is really where the Costco model comes in. Now, what's amazing about Costco is that they sell hundreds of billions of dollars of food, products, services, goods every year, and they make almost nothing on the sale of those products. Literally nothing. If you look at the profit of Costco, you analyze and study their financials, their entire net profit is associated to their membership revenue. So it's that annual membership revenue we pay at Costco that funds the ability for them to essentially pass the value of the goods onto us at wholesale rates. The margin they keep really just pays for the infrastructure, pays for the place to and the people to have the groceries on the table. Interesting. So, what if there was a way we could pass through the entire net value of selling a solar system? What if its whole value could be passed through to the people that were responsible for selling it? And that, ladies and gentlemen, when you combine Uber with what EXP did in realty and what Costco did to grocery stores, is what we are all getting ready to do to the solar industry. And that's why you guys are in this room tonight, is it not? Yeah. Because a lot of you guys know, you've seen the presentation, you know, you got it. This is the game changer. This is what we came to do. And you've got traditional solar companies over there, and then you've got us, which is really going to bring this next level model to market. And it's about consolidation. You've got a highly fragmented marketplace. We were just talking about this, me and David and his homies, right before. And basically, when you've got a commodity type business, you can't differentiate on panels. You can't differentiate. People try, but they're not really differentiated. Okay, that's the hard fact. That's the truth. And you can look at the business of solar and you can see that. It's just scattered absolutely everywhere. Highly fragmented marketplace. So you can't differentiate on these true commodities. It's not going to happen on the inverter, on the panel. It's not going to happen on the installer. It's not going to happen with your warranty. All of that is a commodity, ladies and gentlemen. You want to differentiate, we've got to do it at the business model level. Now, don't get me wrong. You can be different because you're an amazing professional all day long, right? If you're great at what you do, you're going to win business because you're great at what you do. But if we want to do something fantastic in the solar industry, if we want to disrupt the solar industry, we've got to differentiate at the level of the business model. That's how you consolidate a fragmented marketplace. There's thousands of solar sales teams, tens of thousands of solar sales professionals, thousands of installers everywhere. It's so fragmented. So the vision that I'd like to share with everyone watching, with all of you in the room tonight, this is about all of us consolidating that marketplace. It's building a better business model so that if you're a solar sales professional, we really can't come up with a reason for why you're not selling with us at Powur. We can't come up with one. And that's the direction we're going with this value proposition. And when you're the person who invited that professional, guess what? You own market share. This is about market share. It's about, if there's 30,000 solar professionals, which is my estimate, somewhere around 30 to 40,000 in the country, that are doing about 500,000-ish installs a year, okay? Do the math. If we go consolidate 10,000 solar professionals or create 10,000 solar, then we are in essence going to have 25 to 30% of the United States market share of solar. If X percentage of those solar professionals are on your team, what is your percentage of the national market share? That's how to think when it comes to this business can get very exciting. Because we all know how quickly network models can spread. We know what happens when things go viral. 1,000 people, 5,000 people, 10,000 people, that's the kind of stuff that happens in 24 to 36 months or faster in a lot of times. So that's the vision. It's built, it's differentiate on the business model so we can consolidate a fragmented marketplace. This is how we're doing that. So we're introducing a game-changing compensation plan. This is the industry's first transparent cost of goods compensation plan for all you wonderful live streamers. I know a lot of you guys have seen this before, but for many, this is, I know I might be talking fast. I hope there's not too much jargon. But basically, this is what it means. So a lot of times in the industry, you might get paid like a flat price per watt. Somebody says, we'll give you 25 cents. If you work at a company, it's usually about 20 to 25 cents a watt is what you get paid direct if you close a sale, right? If you have an EPC or you work for a dealer, maybe they give you your own baseline, maybe they tell you, hey, you could sell at $3 a watt, or $3.25 a watt, or $2.75 a watt, or whatever it is. You might get something, right? But the reality is that you have no idea what it actually costs. Okay? You have no idea what that project costs, and you have no idea how much margin the company's making. Now, solar's not an easy business. Everybody's got to make margin. The EPCs need to make margin, but I'm going to tell you how much they're making. They're trying to make about $1 a watt off every single project. So if their cost of goods is around $1.75, whatever that all-in sales price is going to be is probably going to be around $2.75. They're all optimizing for around $1 a watt. That's what they want to get to, oftentimes more. There's many out there that if they have a really lean model, they're procuring their own equipment, they have a warehouse, they're local and regional, they're an efficient crew. There's some great companies out there. Their COGS sometimes are really low. It's not crazy expensive to actually install the systems. So they could have really low COGS. They could be making $1.20 a watt, depending on what they're giving people, sometimes maybe even more. So that's what's happening in the industry. So Powur is actually now showing our consultants the actual cost, what it actually costs to install that solar system. Every single piece broken out line item by line item, right? Here's how much the modules cost. Here's what the inverter cost. Did it need an MPU? Was there a permit? Was there an electrical engineering stamp? Blah, 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 blah. Every single item's broken down. This is how much it actually costs. And whatever the net revenue is on that system, whatever the net revenue is over its actual cost of goods, the person who sold that project keeps the lion's share. They're going to get 70% of the net revenue. 70%. Hell yeah, that's an applause. Now I know I got some great solar professionals in the room. They understood that. Everybody at home's like, what? I don't get it. Yeah, no, it's incredibly generous. I mean, I'm going to go through some examples in a second, but comparatively, it's a multiple less than EPCs and installers, thank you, could you fill, are really offering in the industry. Like a massive multiple less. And it doesn't stop there, which we're going to talk about in a second. Here's what you guys have to get, though. This is the most exciting part about this entire model. As our community continues to grow, what's going to happen to our cost of goods? It's going to go through the freaking floor. I mean, through the floor. Like, we've done the projections on this. Like, the next step for the company is to get its GC license in California and Texas. Those are the first two markets. Once we do that, there's another layer of cost that we can essentially take out and assume by basically hiring directly the contractors and construction we need for each project. It basically goes to like a normal crew should cost about $1,500 a day on the actual job site when they're doing the install. And that on top of procurement, other things, this cost of goods is going to go through the freaking floor. Through the floor. As this company achieves moderate growth, never mind the type of growth we know is possible. I mean, that should get every single person in this room unified on the same page. Because what happens when we all win is that we all win. We get into a position where there's not even really a way to catch this thing. I mean, if your baseline cost of goods is $1.60, $1.50, I mean, just imagine what's possible with something like that. Like, you can come in and what's going to happen when the ITC starts to step down? And you're up against the guy that has a fixed price. He can't sell lower on anything. You'll be able to sell lower than his fixed price that he's not even allowed to go under and still have 70% of the net revenue of that project. Like, when you really understand the model, the potential of it is really staggering as we continue to drive this cost of goods through the floor. So as far as I'm concerned as a community, this is goal number one. Goal number one as a community is just drive that thing through the floor. And even this week, we just met with SolarEdge, and we're in some final stages of negotiations. SolarEdge, if you're watching, hint, hint, Enphase was also talking to us, so we'd love to see just a few more points on that offer. I think we'd be great. No, I'm just kidding. We're also talking to Enphase. We're talking to everybody. Bottom line is we want long-term partners. We want strategic partners. We want to grow. We want the lowest cost of goods in the industry. And all that benefit is passed on to power consultants and customers. So this is the compensation plan. Let's show some examples. You guys have all seen this, but I'm actually just going to show some real ones from projects you guys are selling. So this was a deal sold in Texas. In Texas, our average system size is about 11 kW. So you're not going to be able to see this. This is an 11.5 kW system. The dude sold it at $4 a watt. It was a Lone Pal 299, I believe, 299, 20-year. And, it had an MPU. So we had to upgrade his main panel. It had a $1,000 structural stamp, normal charges everywhere else. But this is a standard system in Texas. 11.5 kW, it's the deal. His commission on this was $8,587. So $8,587. Normal system in Texas. So here's a normal one. Where's my man Bob? I think this was Carol. So this was Carol. So this was a Sunrun project Carol just sold with American Home Energy. It was 8 kW, 8.7. It was sold pretty low, $338 a watt, and her commission was $6,800. So $338 a watt. It needed a main panel upgrade. So with the main panel upgrade, this thing has a main panel upgrade baked in there as well. But this is where this next one. This is what you guys got to get about differentiating, being competitive in this industry, okay? And how you actually do that. There's pressures coming to solar, ladies and gentlemen. We're in the middle of a tariff that is currently really sucking, quite honestly. I mean, we have equipment costs much higher than they should be right now. We have a step down of the ITC, taking place next year. There's pressures on this industry. So, of course, we would love if, politics heads in the favor of solar and we actually get an extension to the ITC. We get, a Green New Deal and a lot of other great things that are going to be great for solar. That'd be fantastic for solar, and we'd love that. But if it doesn't happen, we have to be prepared for that too. And you're talking about a cost-constrained environment. So this was our good friend Bob's right here. So Bob sold this job. This was an 8 kW system sold at $2.89 a watt. That netted Bob a $3,500 commission at $2.89 a watt. Now you have to understand, that is lower than most sales professionals are allowed to sell or even have a base price at anything at that level. So if you're up against the guy for, all these traditional companies who's, dude, this is my floor, and they're making $0. Literally, they went to their floor, they're making $0. And you're like, what's your floor? All right, 5 cents less than the floor, right? And you're still walking out of there with a bigger check than most people are making now, selling at their margin targets, for God's sakes. I mean, that's the power of this transparent cost of goods model. When you tie your compensation to the net revenue over the cost of goods, this is what happens when you eliminate that fixed, we're going to add $1 on top of every piece. So, does that make sense? All right. Super exciting. So, in addition to that right there, which is a game changer, we're going to do some passive residual income, ladies and gentlemen, because we love models that network. And it's great to get paid money that you just woke up out of bed and that money was passive. Like, it came to you without you having to do the work. That's what lifestyle's about. And I'm a huge proponent to lifestyle income. I've experienced lifestyle income. It's a very real thing. If you work hard for it, if you put some time in, it's ridiculous what the power of leverage and lifestyle income can produce. Under this new model, we're assuming productive people, productive human beings. If you're making 5-6 grand on an average project, that is healthy motivation to be productive. This isn't $25 if you refer a skincare cream or something, right? It's not $50. Like, there's some freaking motivation here. So if you know a sales professional, you know a pro, and you recruit them, you sponsor them, you enroll them, our internal goal is somewhere around 1 to 4 projects per month per active person. We think that if somebody really wants to do this full time, that's achievable, that's the targets they're going to be wanting to hit, and it's very doable. So do the math. If you've got a team of active professionals, that can become substantial fairly quickly. So how's the revenue sharing plan work? So if you enroll someone, you're going to earn 20% of Powur's cut, which is also not a small number. Think about it, right? Powur's keeping 30% of the total net revenue. If you enroll someone in the company, you keep 20% of our total. That's yours. So enroll somebody in the company, and you earn 20% of every dollar we keep from the project. Not bad. And then it starts from there, and it goes to 6 more levels. So on 6 more levels of pay, somebody on your second level, you're going to make 10% of everything Powur keeps. 10% of every dollar we keep. And then on level 3 through 6, you're going to keep 5% of every dollar we keep. So we're taking 50% of the money that we keep and putting it into a revenue sharing plan so that you guys can be freaking free. Help us build this model. Let's go get loud and proud and vocal and take this to the world and take this initial group of a few hundred, make it 10,000, and the initial group that was productive is going to be damn happy, right? That's how it works. And honestly, congratulations to a lot of you, because you've already been doing a phenomenal job. I mean, look at the room we have here tonight. I mean, honestly, it's inspiring to see the professionals, to see the quality and caliber and talent level in this room. You know, already many of you are doing a phenomenal job, and your teams are well underway, and it's very exciting as installs start to hit the books, and this money starts to get paid out as well. Now, this is a part of the plan that I'm going to work extra hard to sell you on. Because the long-term vision of this company has always been to go public. That's what we want to do. We want to go public. It's been the vision forever. Since we started this damn thing, we've been talking about this. It just feels like I just want to do it bad, okay? But we want to go public differently. We want to go public without Wall Street owning us. How cool would that be? I think it'd be really cool. So what we've done up until this point, Powur's raised $4.6 million at this point. About 70% of that came from strategic, badass, awesome angel investors, investor groups, but strategic individuals. And then in 2017, we launched a crowdfunding round, right when the SEC finally legalized equity crowdfunding. And it's legal to actually offer equities in a company to the public through crowdfunding platforms. We were one of the first companies to ever do that. And when we launched our round, we were the fastest company in history to ever raise $1 million through equity crowdfunding, which in fact is the limit. You're allowed at a regulation CF, you can raise $1.05 million. So Powur set that record. It's since been beaten, but we got there first. And really, that's just us warming up. As I'm going to talk about in a little bit, the company is eyeing some imminent plans to do what's called a Regulation A. Anyone ever heard of Reg A's? A couple of our friends have heard of Reg A's. Probably from WeFunder, right? Or something around there. So what a Reg A means is that we essentially can file a mini public offering. It's a 40-page prospectus, a little bit lighter reporting requirements, twice a year instead of quarterly. But more or less, you're kind of operating like a public company when you file a Reg A, okay? When you file a Reg A with the SEC, you're now legalized to take up to $50 million in investments from the crowd. So the cap is $50 million. And, you of course need to comply and meet these annual requirements and whatnot. But that's the plan, ladies and gentlemen. And it's coming pretty damn soon. And so when you think about stock options and earning equity in a very early stage company, our goal for this Reg A is to launch it at a 5x valuation than our last round of crowd investors from WeFunder participated in. So if you had invested $1 in our last WeFunder round, our goal, which is looking pretty good right now, is to launch this next Reg A at 5x that value. So a $10,000 investment in our last round would be worth 50 grand in this next one. And what's cool about that is you're really 80% of the way to being public once you go Reg A. You're literally 80% of the way. You add in 2 more quarters of reporting and beef up your prospectus and you're public. And they actually have requirements that if you exceed $50 million in revenue, you have to file public. So this isn't just like a pipe dream that you're being sold. Like, there is a very detailed path to turn these equities into liquid cash, and a detailed path that takes these equities at their current strike price today. So all of you who made your first sale and you get 100 stock options in Powur, guess what your strike price is? Your strike price to exercise those options is based on the valuation of the last round. So, if we are successful in executing our next round, your strike price options that you're earning right now, up until that moment, will have a 5x multiple. Okay, that's good to know, right? And then after we have a valuation, you can't sell options that cheap anymore. So the options have to keep going up. So there's an inherent benefit, there's an inherent value in earning options when the company is in its earliest stage, because these things multiply. Take, a $5,000 or $10,000 options investment, and what happens if we go public one day and that's 100x? You're talking $500,000. You're talking $1 million. Like, this is not the money that's going to put food on your family's table today. We already covered that. This is your wealth strategy and plan. Like, if we're on the same page, the same vision, the goal should be earn as much equity as possible, because that's like my leave money to my kids one day plan, right? Or the house that I want to buy, or it's long term. So we're super excited about this. We are incredibly bullish on the power of equity crowdfunding. We believe that this company is never going to need to raise $1 from Wall Street or VCs or any of that crap. It's going to be 100% owned by the people the whole time, and that's how Powur is meant and destined to be. So let's talk about solutions. We've got training happening on a daily basis. You guys have all gotten a chance to meet Rachel, and we got more coming. She's just finishing the new onboarding system that's getting ready to go live, so she's been crazy. We've got lead generation that's getting ready to kick in. We know the next piece. We know what you want. So, of course, the company is focused on some lead generation campaigns that are going to allow people access to leads and buying in. But we want to go hardcore training too on just all the methods for how you acquire customers. Cool things like workshops and events and the power of referrals and networking groups. Many of you know door-to-door. Some of you are digital marketers. There's a million different ways to go get our customers and drive this thing. And there's a lot of margin in your guys' sales to really, try some things and generate some customers. One of the funnest parts about our company is our live event culture. To all of you who have experienced Powur live events, hey, 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 hey. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, you wanted to go all the way, didn't you? You wanted to lose it right there. Show everybody what a lose it was, huh? Oh, snap. It's so fun. When you get a taste, you guys will know. But, this company is about transformation. It's about transforming our lives. It's about being the human beings that we've always wanted to be. It's about sharpening ourselves in every way. It's about being great. It's about investing in ourselves. That's the soul of who we are. And so live events are really where we do that the best. And it's just so much fun to come together and do that work together. And I can't wait to experience that with you guys. Obviously, where we've invested most of our money is our technology platform. I'm going to talk a little bit about this. There's some big updates coming. I'm going to set some expectations around those updates. But what we've really done is we've kind of created this end-to-end platform to really manage a solar project from start to finish with infinite numbers of installers, finance companies, whatever, across the country. So if you've ever kind of been in this industry and tried to work multi-state, like it's ridiculous trying to log into every installer's finance portal and this and that, and every agreement is different, and this is different in every county. It's ridiculous. So we took that headache away, and it's just kind of end-to-end project management under one platform. How many of you guys are loving the Solo integration? Yeah. My hat is off to the gentlemen and ladies at Solo. It is an amazing... So, one cool thing about our company is if you know people in other states, we're open for business in 22 states with this new model right now. So here's where the Costco portion comes in. Obviously, this thing does not work with Powur keeping 15% of the net revenue of every solar project. Doesn't work, ladies and gentlemen. We've tried to crunch those numbers. Doesn't happen, okay? You've got infrastructure to pay for, management team, salaries, insurance, technology costs, platform, whatever. So the game changer here is just like you have an annual membership or whatever that is with Costco to get access to the wholesale goods. Same thing with Powur. We have a membership. It's $99 one time for somebody to onboard to our company. They come on board, they're done. It's $49 a month to be a member of Powur. Now, if you want to use our contract services, so we will provide proposals real time with Solo. You can also order all your real-time contract packages through Solo. That's all good. There's a charge for that. So the cost of Solo gets passed through, or you could do your own. So if you want to do your own, we have some solar professionals who are choosing to do that too. We don't care. But if you do your own designs and you submit your own contracts and your own proposals, we do need to audit those. We need to put them in Aurora. We need to make sure your production numbers match up. We need to make sure things are good to go. So there's a $25 audit review. So this is the cost. Now, when you net this out, it's still a ridiculous no-brainer. Because if the average person on the platform right now has a 25% conversion rate from appointment to contract, which is our average, how many proposals do you need to get a close? Okay, 4. So that's average. Now, I don't know where you put yourself in your head, but, if you want to crunch some additional numbers, let's say you need 8 proposals to get a close. How much is that? $200, right? How many contract packages did you send out? You might have sent out 1, you might have sent out 2, let's say 2, maybe the first person didn't sign, something happened, they got cold feet, whatever, so you went to a second, they sent out another one. So let's say at the most conservative, you're talking $250 in actual proposal and contract costs that come out of an average commission of about $5,500 to $6,000. So how's that net out for you? A lot better than 25 cents a watt if you make a sale, right? 25 cents a watt if you make an average sale is about $1,500. So this is not hard math to calculate, ladies and gentlemen. If you have a traditional EPC or dealer relationship or you work at a company, you make about half to maybe a little bit less than half in commission on every one of these jobs. If you are a power business owner, you make almost double that. Is making almost double worth $200 or $250? That's a no-brainer. So that's how the model works, right? We share in the costs, and we pass through all of the net revenue on each project. So, yeah, and again, like I said, if anyone wants to submit their own proposals, go to town. Just one Aurora account costs $259 a month, in case you guys didn't know that. It's $259 a month just to design your proposals. So if you think that it's cheap to design and create solar proposals, good luck. Oh, bathroom's right that way, buddy. Right through there, down the corner. So, ladies and gentlemen, here is the 6-month game plan, baby. Load up your stock options. We're planning on our Reg A within 6 to 9 months. We want to get you a 5x valuation over those stock options. And ladies and gentlemen, it's time to drive sales and take over sales and recruiting in the solar industry. Take sales, take recruiting, and let's just take the whole darn thing over. Is that something you guys can get excited about? Yeah. Sales and recruiting, we got this. Now our long-term vision, this is an important piece of this. We got to fill the void of model leadership right now. It was so inspiring when Solar City was in its heyday to be in solar. It really was. And everybody in solar has to admit that. Because you had a company that was waking up the world, inspiring the world, making headlines around the world, doing something that all of a sudden it put solar on the map. It was like, this thing is real, like clean energy is taking over. So many people believed in it. You had tens of thousands of people that worked for the company or worked with the company. Solar City really defined about a decade of leadership in the solar industry. In a large way, they put the solar industry into a new level, into another level. And they missed the boat. They had the vision, they had the connections, the skills, but they didn't have the model. They didn't have the model to make it work and drive it to scale profitably and sustainably. And ever since their model fell apart, there's just been this void in the industry. It's just like, what's next? Like, so it's just a 5,000 small companies. It's just all of us doing our own thing. Everybody's just hanging out. It certainly isn't Sunrun. It's certainly not, I mean, no, that's kind of more of the same. So there's just been this void of model leadership, and we want to fill that. We want to really start leading the industry again, coming up with a model that's going to define the next generation of the solar industry. And that's going to give something for everyone to be excited about and proud of and believe in again. That we really actually can do what we set out to do in this industry. The promise that Solar City made to be a company that can save the world and inspire millions and create the next generation of energy for America and beyond. That's something to believe in. And that's what we want to do. And that's what I hope we translate to all of you today and tonight, is that, you know, it's about that as well. This is our long-term vision. It's to really fill the void of model leadership and have something we can believe in again. So, join Powur, become a shareholder. Powur Energy is going live at midnight PST on 5/28. Everybody out there in live stream world, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. So 9 o'clock on Monday, we're officially going to make the transition over to the new Powur.com platform. So the site will be down for about 90 minutes. We're migrating a bunch of stuff. We're moving to Google's cloud and all this stuff. It's the right time to do this. So at 9 p.m., it goes down. So really think about, you know, Tuesday morning when everybody logs into the Powur platform, you know, that's really where you're going to be prompted to register and sign up for Powur Energy. So all new members are going to be able to join the company on the morning of the 28th. Everybody's going to have a link. You can send that link to anyone you want. That link is going to allow all of your future team members to sign up and join the company and be tied to you. All existing members are going to be able to log in and update their membership on the morning of the 1st. On the morning of the 28th. On the evening of the 28th, we are going to host a training webinar, mainly for a lot of our previous partners and guests and everybody out there. We can imagine there's a bunch of questions if you're coming from the old model. If this is your first exposure, you don't have as many questions, but everybody's welcome to come as well. We're going to do a big FAQ onboarding training, kind of just walk everybody through the transition with platforms. And really step 4 is just to sign up as many homes as possible and tell every professional you know before we do. Because you guys might have seen Bobby Smith out there on LinkedIn, right? I mean, that guy is an animal. Like, is there anyone he isn't talking to? So yeah, definitely sign up as many homes and tell every professional you know before we do. So thank you so much, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an honor to have you here. Thank you to our live stream viewers. We love you guys. And hello, Powur Energy, in this next era of the future that we all get to choose to create together. So it's our future. Let's build it together. Let's rock the world. Aho, everybody. Cut.